everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Student Whisperer Speaks. I'm Tanvi Rane, and today I have the privilege of interviewing my mom, the founder of Proventus Education and now AKR, introducing Anita Katyal Rane. Hello.
Hello, baby. Thank you so much. Gosh, I can't believe it. I'm actually doing this. It is so surreal, honestly. For the longest time, forget having a podcast. I mean, for anyone to get me to even do a small video for Proventus or even taking pictures has been something I've never wanted to do, right? And I think you've been pushing me for the longest time, and my team has been pushing me for the longest time to do it. I'm actually doing it now. Yeah,
That is
time to tell the world who AKR is.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
Okay,
let's go.
let's begin. Let's start from the beginning,
Okay.
Bombay, because that is the city that shaped you, who you are, right?
Yeah, and I know you also say Bombay the way I say Bombay. So for people the new generation who doesn't know what Bombay is, I don't know. Do they know what Bombay
Yes,
is? Yeah, it's just
everyone
Mumbai, right? But for me, it's always been Bombay, right? I find it difficult to just say Mumbai.
Yeah.
It's just not right. As a Maharashtrian, I should be saying Mumbai. But yes, Bombay is my city. That's where
Bombay is where it originated.
it all started. Absolutely born, brought up here. It's in my blood, and that's why I'm back here. So yeah, this is where it all started, Bombay.
Okay. So, were you the perfect student? Always.
Do you really want me to tell you all my secrets?
Sure, yes.
Sure.
Introduce us to you.
But but the good thing is you finished your education.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I can tell you that I was never the model student. Okay. Yes, in school I was absolutely the monitor right from grade 1 to grade. So 10th I didn't, because I said I wanted to enjoy life. So I said 10th, I said no being a monitor. Till grade 9 I was. So good student. Academics, you know your mom, right? Always top 3 in school. College, again, I was a great student. I'm not going to tell you the secrets about which lectures I attended in college. But yes, Psych was one lecture I attended every day. That's one lecture I didn't miss. And again, when it comes to academics, I think, yeah, college again, I was good. I was a student of honor in Maharashtra, and I got a scholarship from the government of Maharashtra for being a rank holder. So academics, yes. Other things, not letting out the secrets.
Okay. So, weren't you just like following the rules, and or were you like a rule breaker? Like, what was it? How were you?
I think I have always been the rule breaker, to the point where I know what rules to break and what not to, right? So I still remember one of my school teachers actually saying, Anita, you are the worst example of a monitor, because you talk the most and you question the most. You're always questioning. Rosa, he was a maths sir, and we still remember him very fondly. So I would say yes, curious. Didn't really break the rules per se, but always out of the box thinking, always wanted to do something different. Didn't want to follow the herd. Didn't want to do that.
So, what about leadership? Did leadership come early? As you said, you don't want to follow the herd. So, were you the leader of the herd?
Yes, I guess that's where it all started, right? Right from school, because like I said, I was a monitor, right? So grade 1 to grade 9, the monitor, someone that I think my friends turn to. In fact, even now when we've got our school group and we plan getting together, I typically will plan our get-togethers, right? So even in my school group, they still call me the monitor. So I think yes, leadership started back then. I didn't realize it, okay? But I was the person who people would talk to, coordination with the teachers. I was the pet of the headmaster. So So yeah, I think leadership started all the way back then in school. And yeah, I participated, I think, in almost everything when I was in school. Be it dance, be it drama, be it sports. I mean, I was always a good cheerleader. Never really won in any sports, you know that, but I was always there. So yeah, that's when it started.
And when you said you were great at school, did you excel academically, and how did you get your scholarships?
Uh, should I say I'm blessed? I worked hard, no doubt. It was very important for me to ensure that I did well in school. That is something I needed to do for mom, right? So it was very, very important for me to do that. So we were 3 of us in school, and the race was always between the 3 of us who would stand first, second, and third. So yes, worked hard to get those scores. Same goes for college. Definitely put in the hours of study, because honestly, even if you are intelligent, if you have a higher IQ, if you do not study, you're not going to get the grades, right? I think it's basic logic. So yeah, I did put in the effort and got the scholarship. And the scholarship, I must say, Yatan, the scholarship was not, it was not in terms of the value it was bringing, because as per the scholarship, I could, study right up to my PhD, and the Maharashtra government would pay for it. But it was more in terms of acknowledging the hard work that I did. I think that was a better feeling than the monetary part of it.
Okay. And you said you only attended one lecture in college, and that was psychology.
that was behind the scenes. You're not supposed to say that here.
Well.
But yeah, that's one lecture I never ever miss. Psychology. So we had this professor, doctor, and she was amazing. So that was the first lecture, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I had to leave home at 5:30 to be in college for the 7 o'clock lecture. But I did that every day. So psychology for me, I think, was again something I was passionate, even back then. It's so funny, life is so funny. You don't realize things that you've done in your childhood, how it actually, turns around and comes back in life at some point. So, the monitor being the leadership and being an entrepreneur, right, which connects to that. Psychology being my favorite subject, and actually doing that now as a career. So, yeah. My favorite subject.
Did you back then realize there was more than just academics to life?
Probably not, babe. I don't think so, because especially in our time, our world was very small, right? You kids have access to so much more now because of technology, right? For us, it was school and home. Maybe the Doordarshan channel, which gave us like limited amount of television time. It was more about books, right? So I was a voracious reader. I read a lot. So I think my world was, my books were my world. I was way ahead of the reading graph. So like when I was in middle school, we had a library. So we had a library period every week. I would be taking books which were typically meant for students who were in high school. So, no, I think the focus, back to your question, the focus was academics. That's about it. Because we didn't realize there was a world out there, right?
Yeah.
Our world was only so much.
Yeah. And was like reading for you the escape to world, or was it something part of your rule breaking?
It was not an escape per se, but it was more an introduction to a different world, right? So when I would be reading, and I would be reading about a character who is walking down the streets of Manhattan, and I would read about Bloomingdale's or Harrow, right? I would be actually imagining these places. So I was maybe exported or teleported to a different world outside of the place that I lived. It was a different world.
And that's something that you put in me growing up, and now I am a voracious learner and a voracious reader.
I know, and I'm so happy that you read.
Yeah.
But you also get to travel physically, not in the imagination that I did when I was
I
young.
can. I have the opportunity to.
True. Thank you, Ai.
So, what after academics? What do you do? Where do you go?
Uh, so when I finished my undergrad, I did have the scholarship, like I said, right, where I could study. But then, of course, I always wanted to do something different. So it was like, okay, I've been reading about stuff, so I need to travel. I had the opportunity to travel to the Middle East, to Dubai. I took the opportunity. I traveled there, and whilst I was visiting, I was randomly giving interviews. In fact, the first interview that I went for, because I just finished my education. Wait, let me take a step back. So I finished my education. So this was not technically my first job, which I'm talking about, because when I was in college, I was already teaching. So I tutored kids. So I think my passion for, actually, it is, right? So my passion for kids teaching, counseling started all the way back when I was in school and college, because I was tutoring. And I even did my Montessori course, and I worked as a kindergarten teacher in a school. So my job in Dubai, in Gulf Race, was not technically my first job. But so moved there, got the opportunity to work, and I was like, hey, why not? I can always go back and study, but this is an opportunity to explore myself, find myself. And I'm big on that, you know that, right? I'm big on discovering yourself. So decided to stay back, work there, and life took me in a different direction altogether.
And what did that feel like moving abroad, moving to a different place where there's no family?
Difficult, I must say. And you know the feeling, right? Right? Because you moved away from home for a long time. Not the easiest. I missed home. I missed mum. But and spoiled brat, right? I had everything given to me at my beck and call. So having to do everything myself was not the easiest. But I think that move and the support that I had from mum to do it is what made me who I am today. Yeah. I think that move was the best thing that could have happened to me.
So, you were in Dubai in your 20s. What did you do there?
What did I do?
Yeah.
You sure you want to know? I worked hard. Right? So like I said, it was not easy moving away from home. Landing the first actual job, right? So I worked in sales and advertising. My first job was classifieds advertising at Gulf News, one of the biggest newspapers. And it was amazing. I think that was my first corporate job, right? So working with creative agencies, working with the design department, working with the sales department. It was amazing. I learned so much, right? It was a great learning experience. I learned to understand how people think, because it was the first job was more of a telesales job, right? So I didn't really go out in the field. People came in to see me, or I would have conversations with them on the phone. So I think the whole confidence of the way I talk, also something that I built during my early days of working with GM. It just made me understand there are so many different perspectives to the way people think, right? Because again, what you have to understand is I was moving from Bombay to Dubai, which is the melting point of the East and the West, right? So I was working with the locals, the Arabs. I was working with the Brits, with the Americans, people from different parts of India. And it is amazing how everyone's perspective on the same thing can be so different.
Yeah.
It was amazing, honestly. So I think that's where my journey of really understanding people. So yes, the foundation was laid in school, in college, but the actual understanding came from this experience at GM.
And you didn't stay as an employee for long.
No, I can't. So I think Proventus is the only thing that I've done for the longest time, for the past 30 years. But every so often I need to do something new, right? And again, even within Proventus, I always do something new every couple of years, right? Because I have to do something different. I need to challenge myself. Again, within Gulfries, I was there for 5 years, but I moved departments in about 2.5 years. So I moved from classifieds to supplements, and I was doing something completely different. And then after 5 years over there, I was like, okay, now I need to do something. And of course, Dad was, Baba supported me, and he was like, okay, do what you want to do. And since I already had people, clients, companies who I used to work with, interact with, like, we have to work with you wherever you go. So starting my own advertising agency is my first entrepreneur gig, project, whatever you want to call it. But that's where it started.
And how did that go for you?
Honestly, it was amazing. It really, really was. I mean, everything that I've done. It would not be fair for me to say that GN was not great or my advertising gig was not great or whatever. Each experience, every time I have done something, has been a learning. And because I was an entrepreneur, I had my clients, right? I was not only handling their media buying, their advertising, the designing part of it, the execution of it. My very first Apple computer, the G3, the big dabba, we actually had that, right? So it was amazing, honestly, so much learning. I was a driver also, right? Taking stuff from the clients to Gulf News for the printing. So we did it all, and I think that's where I realized that's what I like to do. I like to work for myself.
But you didn't stay in Dubai forever.
No, I didn't, because what happened at that point of time, a lot of people were moving from Dubai. Visa rules were changing. We're talking about late 90s, early 2000s. And so people were moving either to Canada or to Australia, and we decided to move to Canada, to Toronto. So yeah, the move happened to Toronto, where my lady was born.
So, tell me about Toronto. What was that like?
Cold. Minus 40 degrees.
Very cold.
Yeah, Toronto was cold. But apart from the weather, again a different learning, right? So I think every phase of life has been a learning for me. So yes, Dubai was the melting point of cultures, of perspectives. And I think Toronto was a step up from there, because even in those days, Dubai had a lot of Asians, Indians, right? Toronto at that point of time, when we're talking about the early 2000s, there were not very many Indians, not like how it is today. So even for groceries, Indian groceries, we had to travel like miles to get Indian grocery, which now you get at every block. So there I was interacting with people from even more broader perspectives. So yeah, it was a different league, if I can put it that way.
Sure. And you worked a while over there, did you?
Work?
Yeah.
Of course. My gosh, if I don't work and I stay at home, I would have driven everybody crazy around me, right? I can't stay at home. I'm a workaholic. I need to work. I did so, and in fact, I did two things. I studied. I was fortunate to study at University of Toronto, U of T. So I did that. And I did work as the retail manager for United Colors of Benetton, which again, it's so amazing. Everything that I've done in life, every career, every job that I have taken up has been to do with people. So when I was working at Benetton also as a retail manager, it was interacting with people day in and day out, right? People who you don't know from Adam. So they come to the store and you try to understand from their body language exactly what is it that they want, right? What are they connecting to? So I think learning body language again was something that really, really picked up during my stint with Benetton. And that is again something that only added to my foundation of who I am today. Being able to understand people, their perspectives, what are they thinking, even if there's no conversation happening, almost like a doctor, right? So I think, yeah, so the Benetton was, now I'm talking, I'm actually able to connect all the dots, which is what eventually brought me to where I am today.
And when we talk about Toronto, what did Toronto give you?
What did Toronto give me?
Yeah.
You? A lot of good friends. So Toronto also is home, still home. We go back every year. Different perspective to life, and the ability to withstand minus 40 degrees.
It is a North Pole.
It is. But yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, a different perspective to life, I would say. Yeah, because for the life of me, I would have never thought I would get into retail. But so when the whole Benetton was happening, I was also doing merchandising, right? So the buying, where again, the whole creativity comes in. Thinking out of the box, right? Trying to think ahead of fashion, what works, what will work. Because different seasons, in the West it's so big. Every season has a different attire. So I think the ability to actually think out of the box, think ahead, is again something that started there.
And then you came back to India. How was that?
That's a question everybody asks me. Why would you leave Canada and come back to India? Right? A lot of people ask me that. But I think because Sachin and I were always very deeply connected to India, right? To Bombay. Even for the 15 years that we lived abroad, every vacation was back home. We ensured that we aligned it with Ganesh Chaturthi. We came back for Ganesh Chaturthi. So it was always, so coming back to India was something I think we deeply wanted. And of course, this is where the roots are, this is where the family was. So it just seemed a very natural decision for us to move back. There wasn't really much of thought that went into it. And not that we were struggling or whatever, but it just felt right to come back to India.
And what was the first thing you did when you came back?
The first thing I did, I tried to drive, yes, it was very hard, which is very, very hard, but I eventually got around to it. Having learned to drive in Dubai, it was very difficult to drive in India. But jokes apart, what did I choose? I think the first couple of months was more, I think a year was more about settling down. Because, we did come back home, but when I left India and when I came back, I was a different person, right? A lot of time had passed by. I had evolved. So honestly, coming back to India it felt natural, yes, but it was difficult. It was not easy. So it was a struggle because I felt, for every little thing we had to struggle. So it wasn't the easiest thing. So the first 1 year was just settling down. Then in 2007, I started working with Lumiere Business Solutions. I worked as a qual researcher. So done everything, right? And see how life works, right? It again took me into a career where I was interacting with people. I was doing group discussions. I was doing one-on-one interviews. I was working with FMCGs. I was working with healthcare. I was working with the finance industry. You name it, and I worked with every possible industry. So the first year I was doing that, traveling a lot. You won't remember, you were very young then, but I used to be out of the house almost 4 to 5 days of the week because I was traveling pan India, doing research. And then I felt somewhere I was away from home too much, so decided to leave that and get into freelancing. So I started freelancing as a qual researcher. So I could pick and choose my projects depending on when I want to travel and be at home. So did the whole qual research for almost 6-7 years, and again I was working across people of different demographics, right? A 25-year-old, a 45-year-old person, a 60-year-old person, different socioeconomic backgrounds. So from the small houses in far-flung cities, in tier 2 cities. Gosh, I had heard of Bareilly as a place in that song, Jhumka Gira Re, Bareilly ke Bazaar mein. But I actually visited that city as part of my travels. So traveled a lot, met people from different backgrounds. People who work in different industries. So how someone who works in the finance industry, how he or she thinks. Someone who works in the healthcare industry, how they think. Because I work with pharmaceutical companies like Johnson & Johnson. So I was again building my perspective and my understanding of the human brain. So again, I think my whole qual research was adding to my foundation of understanding people.
And is that what decided you to make you a better counselor that you are today? All of these things.
Honestly, then it was never. It wasn't something that I very consciously did. So in between all this, I also ran a salon. I owned a salon, if you remember, right? So again, so aesthetics, right? But more than aesthetics, so I was running the salon. I was not doing anything hands-on, but it was again, women coming in, talking about family, about children. Probably that's where it started, where I was the unpaid, unofficial therapist of the women coming in to get the services done, because I was a sounding board for them, right? Listening into them and just kind of, giving advice, free advice. So did that, and also did the whole training. So I worked with door training, and I used to train IBMers. And then I did traveling again. So I was traveling to Singapore, to Malaysia, to Dubai. Dubai's always been in my life. So to all these places, again working within the corporate industry. You're trying to understand how people at that level think, because I was working with people who were at really high levels, right from the entry level. So I think this all came together when I started Proventus in 2013. So it was not a conscious thing. It was just that, I need to keep doing something new, right, all the time. So it was, okay, what now? And it was like, why not this, right? Because I understand, I've traveled, I understand students, I understand parents, after being in so many different industries. So Proventus was more in terms of guiding students for overseas education, purely. That is what it was started as.
And you said you've done corporate training. What was that like?
Amazing. Yeah, because I love speaking, right? And the corporate training with IBM. So I worked exclusively with them, and like I said, I traveled to different offices of IBM. It was just amazing, and the learning again, because it was at that level, and we were already. I say we, IBM was already doing AI to some level. We were doing Watson at that time. We were already doing that. I'm talking about early 2000s. It's amazing, absolutely. So it was a great experience, absolutely.
How are you good at what you did at IBM?
I would like to think so that I was good. If I wasn't, they wouldn't keep inviting me back to take their training program, right? So I worked with them for I think about almost 4 or 5 years. I did, like I said, did stints globally for them. So since I kept getting invited back, pretty sure I was good at that.
And you were doing market research when you were in corporate training. You were absorbing all of the information and the industry and the people. What else happened during your first time?
What else happened? Well, I continued being a mother. I think that's what it is. So the travels were happening, the different experiences. So it's amazing, right? So if I talk about my life between 2007 to 2013, I was doing multiple things, right? I was doing core research. I was training, or I was a trainer for IBM, and I had the salon. So I was doing a hell lot of stuff now. Now that I think back about it, I was doing a lot of stuff, but everything was with people experiences, was with human psyche. It was with understanding people, and that's probably what culminated into Proventus.
Sort of all of these experiences, advertising in Dubai, studying in Toronto, retail in Benetton, market research in Qatar and Nelson, cooperating with IBM, running a salon, all of this prepared you for, do you think this prepared you for Proventus?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, like I said, consciously I was not doing that. Consciously I didn't realize that. But now that we sit and we talk about it, it really does make sense. That every experience, interactions with people, so like Gulf News, cold calls, communication skills that I was building, starting the advertising agency, the whole entrepreneurship, and then again working with people of different cultures, retail with Benetton again, working with strangers day in, day out. The market research, that was the core research, understanding why people think the way they think, right? What is it that motivates them? What are their fears in life? All those things, because qualitative research is that, right? Whys and hows of human behavior. The corporate training, which makes me, I think, confident when I do my workshops with schools. And again, the unpaid therapist at the salon. So yes, it all came together at Proventus.
And
with that, we complete part 1 of the podcast. It was amazing being interviewed by my daughter, actually being on the other side of the table. It was fun, and there's lots more to follow. So tune in next week for part 2 of the podcast. We're going to talk about career assessments. We're going to talk about, or we say rather delve deeper into my journey, and we're going to unveil something that we've been talking about. So if you've loved what we've done today, do subscribe, absolutely do that, share and follow us. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.